All right. Well, speaking of social media and all.
Yes.
We got a message via the Twitter.
All right.
Tweet.
Deedly tweet.
Right. We got a message from Music Mags and Wax.
Okay.
He's a follower of the CMS. It always amazes me when I get a message via the Twitter or email or something like that, and people make all kinds of show references.
Okay.
And you go, there's a fan.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more fans now.
That's a fan.
Yeah.
Well, Music Mags and Wax tweeted us, and it said, check in with the crazy lately. Good stuff in this. Enjoy. Well, it was a link to the Spreaker for our favorite whipping girl, Jennifer from 80s Hairband Whirl.
Hey, Hairband Whirl.
Hairband Whirl.
Hairband Whirl.
And we haven't checked in with Jennifer in a while.
No.
This episode was just stellar.
So you listened to it?
I did. When Music Mags and Wax sent the Twitter link.
Okay.
I listened to it, and then you shot it over to me in an email.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
I listened to like 3 minutes, and I was laughing so fucking hard, I just stopped and was like, I'll just send it.
Yeah.
This is fucking gold.
I know. And it's just, again, not we've dealt with Jennifer, your host Jennifer, for at least the last 8 or 9 years.
Right.
And she never gets any smarter.
Well, I think she's peaked at her smart level. Now she's on the downswing, isn't she?
I think.
Is it the Down syndrome swing?
I think it's a Down syndrome swing.
Do you think, I mean, honestly, no joking aside, there's something wrong.
Yeah, there's something wrong with her.
There's her mom drank incessantly when she was pregnant or something. Something had to have happened.
Well, she's like, what, 30, 32, something like that, and she still lives at home.
Yeah.
And, she's not a very attractive girl in the least.
What?
Not in the least.
Not at all.
And I can't quite put my finger on what's going on with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Well, the IQ level between being stupid and being retarded is 70. 70 and up is stupid. And 69 down is retarded. Where do you think she falls?
65.
I think she's right there too. But you think she's close, right?
Yeah.
She's close enough to be retarded, but seem not retarded.
Maybe she's a functioning illiterate or something.
There's something just, there's something not right.
Well, Jackal says she's a fucking Moogle.
Well, but she might have to be. Moogle's got a higher IQ than 70.
I think Moogle was more than capable of actually doing something if he were motivated to do it.
Moogle is going to be homeless the day his mom dies.
You're right.
Moogle will never recover from it.
True.
He'll never sack up and get a gig.
Right.
He'll just fucking be homeless and get raped by other homeless guys and die. That's what'll happen to Moogle.
That's quite a prophecy for his future.
You don't? Am I wrong?
You're going to get raped by homeless guys and die.
You don't think that's how it's going to be with Moogle?
No, it's just, but yeah, when his mother dies, unless she's wealthy, which I guarantee she's not.
No.
He'll have nowhere to go. He's gonna like you said, end up in a homeless men's shelter.
Yeah.
Or another family member will have to take him in.
Yeah. And I got a feeling that no family member would take him in. That's my hunch. Because he never talks about any other family.
True.
Which means they all have already fucking learned to avoid his fucking dopey ass.
Right. Well, I put 100% of his failure in life on the back of his mother.
Really?
I do.
I don't know about all that.
Because I guarantee you, she, and I'm not even going to get into the whole thing, but like I said,
She allows it, but it's still his lack of fucking wanting to.
Yeah, but the thing is you have to learn that though. And if you've never had that influence or anyone to teach you that, and you've been catered to or enabled all your life, you don't know anything different.
Don't people just look around and see other people and want that?
No, they don't.
I don't get that.
As long as their basic necessities are covered, what else do you need?
See, I still do that, though. You know, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I think I'm fairly successful at, at some stuff,
Yeah, but your parents didn't allow you to lay around.
Well, no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, even, owning a couple businesses and the books and the radio and blah, 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 all that other shit, I'm constantly still saying, look at that fucking guy. That's where I need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly doing that. I'm never happy with the level that I'm at.
But that was instilled in you at a very early age.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that, because my dad was like that.
There you go.
So I guess there's some truth to that. I don't know. I just can't imagine sitting around saying, yeah, this is good enough.
Well, see, raised in my household, that was never allowed. Never.
No.
You're either out there mowing the lawn, you're out there weeding the garden, you're, doing whatever it takes to work around the house.
Right. Never given a handout. Never here's $20.
Nope.
Go spend time with your friends. Fuck no. The answer better been your grades better be good and you better have done all your fucking chores. And they all had to, and there was chores. There was fucking definitely laundry and dishes and
Sure.
yard work and, shoveling snow in the winter and, all that shit. Moogle, I wonder if he's ever done a chore.
I bet you not.
You think he's ever washed a dish?
Maybe. Oh, you just brought up a whole subject.
Time.
I'm going to see if I don't remember if I made that part of my notes or not.
Okay.
But I read a article this week.
Yeah.
Which talks about the millennials.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. Well, we have to do that.
Oh my God. Since you're talking about it, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Dig it up, man.
Yeah. You, when I tell you about this, you're going to go, what?
Just say, yeah, we got fucking Moogle. We see him living the same life, It's just sad that it's unbelievable to me that people are satisfied with being a zero.
I found it.
All right.
You're not going to believe this. When I read this, I was just like, you have got to be kidding.
All right, let's hear.
And since you brought up the whole, do you think he ever washed a dish?
Okay.
You have no idea what you just led me into here.
All right, so this is a story about millennials?
Yes.
Which is what exactly? 15 to 25?
Something like that.
Okay.
Let me look up millennial.
Oh, millennial be anybody that's born after 2000.
Right.
Yeah. So this current generation.
Correct.
Anybody that grew up in the 2000s.
Correct.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Since you brought up the washing the dish,
okay,
you're not going to believe this.
All right, let's go.
The baffling reason many millennials don't eat cereal. Few things are as painless to prepare as cereal. You know that. You like cereal.
I do. I eat cereal.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Making it requires little more than pouring something that is the cereal of your choice into a bowl and then pouring something else, a milk of your choice, into the same bowl.
Okay.
Eating it requires little more than a spoon in your mouth.
Right.
The food which Americans still buy $10 billion annually. The cereal industry makes $10 billion a year.
I'm not shocked by that.
Wow.
Dude, I just spent, I did my Amazon order for the week. I bought 2 boxes of cereal. That's $8. Multiply that by 300 million people.
Sure.
It's $1 billion.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. $10 billion a year annually. Has thrived over the decades, at least in part because of this very quality. It's convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, for today's youth, cereal isn't easy enough.
Okay.
On Monday, the New York Times published a story about the breakfast favorite, and the most disconcerting part was this. Mm-hmm. Almost 40% of the millennials surveyed by Mintel, M-I-N-T-E-L, for its 2015 report said cereal was inconvenient breakfast choice because they had to clean up after eating it.
What?
See, I told you.
What do you have to do? You have to fucking pour some water in a bowl.
Yeah. The industry, the piece explained, is struggling. Sales have tumbled by almost 30% over the last 15 years.
You have got to be kidding me.
And the future remains uncertain, and the reasons are largely those one would expect. Many people are eating breakfast away from home, choosing breakfast sandwiches and yogurt instead of a more traditional morning staple. Many others, meanwhile, too busy to pay attention to their stomachs, are eating breakfast not at all.
Right.
But there's another thing happening which should scare cereal makers and really anyone who has a stake in the country's future. Mm-hmm. A large contingent of millennials are uninterested in breakfast cereal because eating it means using a bowls, and bowls don't clean themselves or get tossed in the garbage. So bowls kids these days grown have to be washed.
Me.
Yep.
And you know what, dude? Let me tell you how true this story is, and I'll let you continue the story in a minute. But like I just said, you have literally turned how I shop around.
Sure.
In the last 3 months.
Right.
You brought it to my attention about fucking
Amazon
Pantry.
Right.
You know, where you just order and you fill up a box and then you get whatever's in the box for $5.
Yep.
So I'm all about this Amazon Pantry now.
Sure.
You know, because as I've said on the show many times, anything I can do to stay out of a store is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
No, I literally now go into the grocery store for 10 minutes to buy meat and I'm out.
Right.
Meat, milk, and out of there. But this week I had to buy food for both here and Pittsburgh. So I had to buy 2 different boxes of food, you know, and so I was ordering a bunch of different shit, you know, because we eat different shit in Pittsburgh than we do here.
Sure.
So one of the things that as I've said before, I eat cereal, and I was buying cereal. And I was having a hard time just finding boxes of cereal, because if you look on Amazon now, they all sell it in like 6-packs of the little bowls.
Yeah, the bulk
instead of a box.
Right.
And now you're reading this story, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's why it's so different.
Yeah.
You know, that's unfucking believable.
Yeah.
These fucking lazy fucking kids.
It's not the kids, it's the parents.
Well,
the parents aren't kicking their kid in the ass and making them accountable to do shit.
Yeah. That's just amazing to me.
Yep.
So the kids would rather be hungry than take 3 seconds to wash out a bowl.
Yeah, well, they would rather eat a Pop-Tart.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
God damn.
Cereal isn't the only food suffering from a national trend toward laziness. Coffee has suffered a similar fate. Despite talk of a third wave of coffee, which values quality above all else and basks in artisanal rather than the effortless methods of preparation, Americans still covet convenience above all else.
Right.
Convenience is the one thing that's really changing the trends these days. Less than 10% of the coffee beans American buys are fresh whole beans, and ground coffee isn't just outpacing whole bean coffee, it's increasing its lead each and every year.
Okay.
The rise of coffee pods, you know, those little Kurgs
or whatever.
Yeah, Kurg or whatever, which come pre-ground and produce a cup of brown caffeinated water with the push of a button, is further evidence of the country's desire for convenience. So people can't even scoop coffee into a filter and put it and hit, on. They have to have the little coffee, the little Kurg thing.
Well, I will say this about the coffee. And for the record, I still scoop it because I like regular coffee.
Yeah, I have a Cuisinart that I had gotten for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's got a timer on it.
Right.
So before I go to bed, I fill up the water and I put the coffee amount in it, and then hit the button, and at 5:30 the coffee pot pops on.
Right. And when you get up, it's right there.
It's right there ready. Yep.
But I will say this: it is. Unless you're a measurer, which I'm not, coffee's hit or miss. Sometimes you make a pot of coffee and it's weak as shit, and sometimes you make a pot of coffee and it's a little too strong, and so I get if people are using the Keurig thing for because they like a specific they like this blend of it.
It's consistent.
It is consistent, but my God, if people are using it because they're too lazy to scoop in fucking. First of all, it's twice as expensive.
Yeah, because you're paying for the little container and everything.
Yeah, I drink a pot of coffee a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's which is way too much, I know. But I literally drink, what is that, 12 cups a day of coffee?
Mm-hmm.
And I can get about a month out of a can of coffee for $10 or $12 or whatever it is.
Sure.
And but the Keurig thing, a month of that shit's about $45.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It cost me about $8.99 for a can of Folgers Black Silk.
Okay.
And that lasts me at least a month.
Yeah. I buy the breakfast blend.
Yeah.
Folgers or Maxwell House or something.
Sure, I drink the Black Silk.
Yeah. Black Silk's okay.
It's good.
I like all of it. Dude, coffee is my drug of choice.
Yeah, there you go.
Since I gave up heroin, it's all about coffee.
Sales of coffee pods grew by 138,324%.
Wow.
Between 2004 and 2014.
Man, that's a lot.
The popularity of delivery, meanwhile, speaks for the same tendency toward convenience. Roughly 15% of the restaurant meals are delivered today, according to the data from Technomic. But among millennials, the percentage is higher, more like 20%. The reason why convenience is increasingly important is merely because people are lazy.
Wow. Now, I will say this. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to cooking. I actually am a pretty good cook, but I don't like to cook.
Sure.
I'd rather just throw it in the microwave and be done with it too.
There you go.
But I still do. It's not, it's not like I load up my fridge with 40 TV dinners and 30 fucking throw-in pizzas and call it a day.
Right.
I still buy pork chops and hamburgers and, meat and cook meals, but it's not my favorite. Since when does everything have to be easy and not, and your favorite thing to do? Can't these guys take their iPad in there and watch TV or something while they're cooking?
It's too much effort.
Fucking lazy pricks.
Families are working more than ever. Almost 2/3 of households are supported by two working parents today. Yeah, because they have to pay for those expensive takeout meals.
Yeah, no shit.
According to the latest government data, which is the highest reading on record, the less time families have to prepare food or sit down at a restaurant, the more convenience hovers over decisions about food, especially when there is an option that is easier. Dinner, which isn't being cooked at home as often as it used to, is among the trend's many casualties. Less than 60% of suppers served at home were actually cooked at home last year. Only 30 years ago, the percentages was closer to 75%.
Wow.
But there is something different about the backlash against cereal bowls, something more foundational about it that seems to speak to a greater truth about American households today. Mm-hmm. A 2014 national survey conducted by the Braum Research found that 82% of parents said that they were asked to do chores as children. But when they were asked if they required their children to do chores, only 28% of them said yes.
What?
So there you go.
72% of people didn't make their kids do chores.
More or less, yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
That goes exactly what I said. Your parents and my parents would have never allowed that. But this is why we have Moogles today.
How First of all, how did these people get things done in their house?
Well,
if they had kids, they did it themselves after working a full day?
Probably.
Fuck that. To me, and this will be just the selfish bad dad that I think I am or was or whatever, half of it was about getting them off the fucking TV so I didn't have to watch fucking The Lion King. Yeah, go fucking fold some clothes. I'm going to watch the news.
Well, for my parents, at least I know from my dad's standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, and I would imagine it was probably the same for my mom. They wanted to instill the values in you that you need to work for your keep.
Well, sure.
But these kids today, they don't need to work for their keep.
Yeah, that's sad. That's just
it's
fucking sad.
The Bernie Sanders generation.
Yeah. I just don't. What are all these fucking lazy bums gonna do when their parents die or get sick? You know, what's going to happen, especially when they're, forget dying. What's going to happen when their parents get sick and burn through all their money in fucking, hospice or nursing homes?
Well, this again is the Obama generation. Well, the government will take care of it. Don't worry about it. We'll just tax the billionaires and, we'll make sure you get taken care of.
Just fucking lame.
We'll take care of you.
Just lame.
Cradle to grave, man. Cradle to grave.
I am so glad that my kids are not that. I really am.
I mean, we're going to be Greece. We are.
Yeah, I guess. It just is, dude. It's like, my daughter today, I was talking to her and, she had foot surgery.
Right.
And she's begging her work to go back to work to do light duty because she can't stand being home.
Sure.
And I'm like, thank God, because this could easily, with some of these fucking people, they'd probably never go back to work.
Well, when you're used to doing something every day, you can only lay around so much.
Yeah, well, I always say I'm going to take a vacation. I mean, I always say it, and I never do, because I'll take like a day off, and by the second day, I'm back in front of the computer.
Right.
I mean, dude, how many times have I said that to you? I'm going to take a fucking week. I'm not going to do anything. And I never do. I take like a day, maybe I'll take two, and I'll watch some fucking TV for like 20 hours of TV. And then there's nothing else to do.
Well, in the whole time that you've known me, have you ever known me to take a week's worth of vacation?
Never.
And
I never
I'll take a 2 or 3 day run here or there, and that's it.
That's more than me even. I mean, I've taken one vacation in the last 25 years. The cruise I went on.
Right.
That was 2010.
Sure.
I took 9 days where I didn't work. And by the end of it, I was absolutely nuts. I couldn't wait to get back to work. I mean, that might have had something to do with the company I was keeping at that point, but and it was 2010, so y'all could do the math on who that was.
Sure.
Yeah. By the time that 9 days was up, I was more than ready to go back to work. Definitely. Wow.
All right, to finish this up, this generational shift is how families raise their kids seem to be turning even the most mundane of responsibilities like doing the dishes into an unthinkable nuisance.
Mm-hmm. Here's the real question, dude. What are these fucking bums going to do when they have kids? Because they don't even do chores for themselves. So who's going to do it then?
Yeah.
The next generation's not going to do it either because they're going to see their fucking parents not doing it.
Right.
So who's going to do it?
I'm just glad I don't have that issue.
Do you think it's going to be just a nation, like everywhere in the country is going to be like a hoarder generation?
Well, I think this is just setting us up as a country to just be taken over.
You think?
Yeah, they'll just be whoever our enemy is, whether it's ISIS or Muslims or whomever it is. They'll be able to just wander right in here and take us over without a shot because it was too much of a problem to pick up a gun.
Right.
God damn it! I have to load it too.
All right, I guess I'll learn to speak Mandarin. I still watch TV.
Yeah,
different language, but I'll watch it.
Yeah.
How sad is that?
It is.
Soon. I am so glad I'll be dead soon.
Right.
God.
And this goes to your point about how to buy cereal now.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, cereal makers will settle on a strategy for reversing the industry's downward trend. Among the likeliest routes are embracing the fact that many people are eating the food at times other than breakfast, often as a snack, channeling the food's nostalgic quality, which helped buoy the industry for years, and the shifting to portable containers,
Right.
which nearly half the millennials prefer. No matter the result, America's youth might have to reckon with the consequences of an age in which it is no longer worth eating a food when it means having to clean a plate.
Good Lord.
Maybe Soylent is the future after all.
If you're part of this generation and you are this, kill yourself.
Right.
Just do the world a favor.
No, use your favorite line.
But go die in a fire.
Go die in a fire.
Yeah, but then I got to start the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, and, it's hard to light the match. And Jesus, I might have to go get some gasoline. And God, I got to go all the way to the store. And then I got to go in and pay for it. Maybe my mom will let me use the credit card, but what am I going to store it in?
Right. Well, at least we knew Brad Delp wasn't lazy about dying in a fire.
My man put some effort into that death. Dragged 2 grills up steps into the bathroom. That had to be a fucking chore.
They had to light it and set the charcoal briquettes on fire and seal off the door and write a note. And
what do you think his mood was? Do you think he was? You think he was like weepy, cryy, like I'm going to be dead in an hour, or do you think he was like giggling, like man, I'm going to show these fucks?
No, I think it was just like I'm glad I'm finally ending my mental pain, whatever that is.
Yeah, do you really think?
I'm just going to go to sleep now.
Yeah, and where? I mean, I don't know how big his bathroom was, but I know if I put 2 grills in my bathroom, that just leaves me the tub. So did he crawl in the tub and die there?
Just lay on the floor and just die.
There's not enough room.
On a pillow.
Grills are big. Well, maybe they're little charcoal grills.
I think they were 2 hibachi grills.
Oh, well, then pansy stuff there.
Yeah.
The door.
Nice. So anyway, since you had brought that up, that just reminded me of that story about, well, I won't eat cereal because I have to wash the bowl.
I have to wash the bowl. Jeez, oh man. What in the fuck? Just pathetic.
I'm a Moogle. You're a Moogle. Wouldn't you like to be a Moogle too?
So poor, dude.
Yep.
Ugh, this generation.
It's the parents.
I guess.
It's not the kids. It's the parents.
No, it's the kids too. They're still accepting that as acceptable.
Well, again, they don't know any different.
You'd think that they have their TV on. They see people that don't do that.
No, they just sit there and laugh. Ha ha! Look at that guy going to work.
Fucking lame.
Look at that guy going to work.
What an epic fail. He's going to work.
Yeah.
Losers.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ugh, pathetic.